Welcome back to the Spartan Sports Podcast. I'm Thomas Chavez, and today I am joined by
Carter Fry.
Darren Baydoun.
And Tyler Castillo.
All right, guys, how are we doing on this fine March Thursday?
Just getting ready for this MSU game later tonight. Gonna be close game probably.
Let's get it. It's gonna be. I'm excited. Even if MSU loses tonight, it's the start of March Madness. Let's get it.
Exactly, man. Been a year without it, so happy to have it back, and just looking forward to having all these games. Look forward, all these games to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, as March Madness is back. Last year we had to miss out on the tourney because COVID happened. That was the first big sporting event that we all had to miss out on. But we're back. It's back. Great times were had by all this year. March Madness is famous for its upsets. Loyola Chicago making it all the way to the Elite Eight or something like that a couple years ago.
Final Four.
Even better. But let's just talk real quick. Who do you guys got as your first round upset in March Madness?
So this year, first round, I don't think I've ever liked this many high-low seed upsets, but I really like UCSB, University of California, Santa Barbara, going up against number 5 seed Creighton. The Gauchos are predicted by many to have an upset this year, and I'm with them. Creighton, they've kind of been struggling recently. Their coach was under fire for saying some, sort of racist comments, so he was gone for a week, dealing with a few injuries, I believe. So Creighton, to me, is definitely a vulnerable top seed that I could see losing in the first round.
I like that. So the big upset for me, I think would be, I don't know what it is, but I've had a drawing to Ohio upsetting Virginia in the first round. I don't know what it is, but if anybody's going to get upset in the first round, just take a look at 2 years ago. Virginia is the only 1 seed to ever lose to a 16 seed. So I know that's not really relevant to how they're playing this year or anything, but I just think, I don't know, I like the matchup. After reading into it on, the bracket, like the ESPN bracket analysis or whatever, I was like, I really like this Ohio team. So I think that's my biggest upset in round 1.
Their point guard gave Illinois 31 earlier this year, and they played them pretty close. So Ohio's definitely got a shot.
They're also just getting to practice now because they had to quarantine with COVID stuff. So they're in a prime position to be upset. Darren, who you got?
Yeah. I've got a couple that I'm looking at. I think number one for me, and this is one that's been talked about a good amount, Winthrop over Villanova, or Winthrop over Villanova. Villanova's lost their top player, their point guard, Colin Gillespie, and they haven't really done much at all ever since he went out. So I think that's a prime pick. And then also, just because they would only fit so well, this being since they beat MSU my freshman year, I got Syracuse against San Diego State too, because whenever teams play a zone for the first time, it's like you can't hit you can't hit water if you're an ocean. So I think those are two picks for me that I've looked at that I've really looked at so far.
Yeah, certainly. Me personally, I'm really intrigued by this Georgetown team. Patrick Ewing has got Georgetown back in the NCAA tournament. They're going up against Colorado, 5 seed on 12 seed. I think that, Georgetown has a good opportunity to make a run. They've got the story, they're not playing a 1 seed, 12 seed's pretty decent opportunity to have an upset. So, I'm looking forward to Georgetown.
I feel that for sure. They're definitely really hot right now, and they definitely have the chance to keep that momentum rolling. So we'll see.
Patrick Ewing, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Just like, he can also get misunderstood at the Garden and almost kicked out by security because you don't know what Patrick Ewing looks like. Apparently,
it's not like his numbers in the rafters or anything, right?
And he has such a distinct face too.
He does.
He should be recognizable.
Who do you think you are? Why are you here? I'm that guy. God.
Weird.
Knicks are some weird people. But I digress. That was off topic. So speaking of upsets though, one of the most entertaining or even just like awe-inspiring moments in March Madness is when a 1 seed goes down. This year we've got Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, and the University of Michigan as 1 seeds. So, one of these guys has to go down. All 3 of them at least have to go down, to be specific. So who do you guys think is going to be the first one to lose?
I got Michigan. All the other 1 seeds seem really strong to me. I could see all of them going to the Final Four. Michigan, I think, has a little bit of a tougher path, and especially without Livers out, I think that's really going to show. They still have Wagner and Dickinson and a great supporting cast, but without Livers there, I think they're really going to be missing him.
Yeah, I think I take that pick too. I think without Livers, they just don't have. They even with him in the lineup, they finished the way they finished the season. They did not look quite as good as they had for the most part for most of the year. And I think if there's one team, they should be able to beat their 16 seed matchup. Probably beat either LSU or St. Bonaventure, although they could give them a run. But I think Florida State is a team that has. They're always really athletic, really good defensively, but this year they're also a great shooting team. So I think they get some revenge from when Michigan beat them in their national championship game run a few years ago. I think that will be like what, Sweet 16. So yeah, I think that'll be the time where they're the first 1 seed to go in the tournament.
Thomas, who do you have, Thomas, as the 1 seed to go?
I also had Michigan. I swear it's not bias against them. I just think that the Livers injury really hurts them. And I think that they have one of the hardest routes to victory of any of the other 1 seeds. I think Illinois might be the next hardest, but like Gonzaga seems like they're in a pretty easy part of the bracket. Baylor, I just feel like Michigan is going to end up coming up against the most challengers on their route to trying to win the championship. So I feel like they're obviously going to be the first one out.
Yeah, so I don't have Michigan. I have Baylor as the first 1 seed to go, and multiple reasons. I think, I've heard that Michigan, like Livers, might be coming back for the Sweet 16. So if they can get past the 16 seed in either the 8 or 9 seed matchup in the next round, I think they're going to be okay. I think they're a good team even without Livers, though, because I know you guys mentioned that they really had a kind of a crappy end of their season, but they also lost Eli Brooks, and Eli Brooks actually has been like really huge for them offensively. So I think if he's in their system, I think they can replace Livers more easily than they can with Brooks. So I think there's actually a lot more to work with than what we're thinking. But Baylor, I think Baylor's just like a fraudulent team in my opinion. Like they had their big COVID break and they came back and they just they're playing way too many close games. Not a fraudulent team. I saw the face that Carter made because they're not frauds. Obviously they're a good squad.
The Big 12 was like definitely the second best conference this year after the Big 10.
They were for sure.
It's been a brawl all year.
They played close games against bad teams and that it just kind of scared me. So I think that who knows? Obviously, right? It's March Madness. Who knows? But I just think that if the first 1 seed to go is going to be Baylor, in my opinion. Oh, also, I want to say that Gonzaga has a cakewalk in that if they don't make the Final Four, then they're bums.
I will agree that Baylor has the toughest path to the Final Four out of any of the 1 seeds, but yeah, their guard play. They have 3 guys averaging over 14 points a game. I just think Baylor's too good to lose before Michigan. But that is yet to be seen, and March is always so unpredictable and crazy, and that's what I love about it.
Yep. For sure.
All right. But none of that really matters if they don't win, right?
Right.
So,
right.
This is my transition to asking you guys who you guys think is going to win. It was terrible, but I'm doing it. All right. So go.
Okay. I guess I'm going first. I got Illinois in this one. I think the Zags are going to meet them in the title game, but I really think this is Illinois' year to bring one home for the Big Ten Conference.
I think I'm going to go with the same. I think I'm going with the same championship matchup that you have, Carter. But I think I'm going to go with the Zags. They've been they're unbeaten. They have a chance to be maybe the first unbeaten team since Indiana, like in 1975, to go all the way with that kind of season. There's been no showing that they've had to make anyone doubt that they would be the favorites. So I think if they were to face Illinois, that'd be a great tail game. But I think this is the year where they finally they've made a number of runs and they got close before 2 years ago against North Carolina. So I think this is the year they get Mark Few gets that first championship. And I'm gonna take the Stags.
Yeah. So I have a two-parter. So the one that's most likely to happen is Illinois. But if Michigan State wins their game tonight, it's Michigan State. Just for the culture. Why not, right? Like, why not say that? Why not be ridiculous, right? It's how everybody makes a living in sports anyway. So they just say the weirdest shit ever and then they're famous. But what's most likely going to happen is it's going to be, I think, Illinois. And then I have kind of I don't know, it's not really a surprise. I wouldn't say it's a 3 seed. I think Texas is going to beat them in the championship. I think Texas has been playing really well. They're from the Big 12. They had, obviously we just said Big 12 is probably the second, toughest conference all year long. I think that Texas can meet Gonzaga in the Final Four and Texas can get it done. I don't think Gonzaga is going to be able to play a team that's up to Texas's caliber. So that's why I have them advancing. And then I think Illinois is just the best team all year round. I think they just been the best. They have so many pieces. They're the best all around team. Kofi Coburn. They got that. I don't even know how to say his name. Their point guard with the
Io.
Yeah, Io, yeah. And then they also have another guard too that was actually playing over Io when he was hurt and he was doing really well. But Illinois is my pick. So
I feel like I don't like Illinois as much as other people do. I really think that they're going to fall to Houston. I think Houston makes it to the Final Four. I like Houston a lot. I think Houston's got something there.
I don't.
They're
beat Houston. Honestly, I've been going back and forth on that all day on my bracket, and I can't decide.
I like what Houston has.
I think Houston's a fake 2 seed, but
I think Houston makes it to the finals, and I think that they lose to Gonzaga. That's my prediction. You can disagree with that all you want, Tyler. I don't know why. I'm just being drawn to Houston. I think that they're a really interesting team to watch. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I respect that. It's March. Anything can happen.
Yeah. But there's more news happening in March. The NFL, they have their free agency happening. Free agency officially opened yesterday. So we've seen a lot of names move around. We've seen some names stay. I've been really interested in a couple of teams personally. I don't know about you guys, but the Patriots have been loading up in free agency for the first time in forever. They never really make big splashes, and now they are. So I just want to ask you guys about the Patriots and what you guys think is going on there.
Yeah, we obviously saw them just re-sign Cam Newton to another 1-year deal. I think it's going to be Cam's redemption season. And now that they're putting all these pieces around him, giving him Aguilar. Who's the other wide receiver they signed?
Kendrick Bourne.
Bourne. Yeah, no, both of those guys, great young talents. We saw Aguilar really break out in Oakland last year.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, they've been, Las Vegas. Oh my goodness. I still haven't gotten
I know,
used to
it happens to me too all the time. It's fine.
I still haven't gotten used to it. The Raiders, we'll say.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just they're upgrading everywhere. I think they got a tight end too.
Oh, they got two.
They got two.
Johnny,
the two best
Hunter
tight ends
Henry.
in free agency. So
yeah, so they're really giving Cam a lot of options here, and pair him with one of the greatest coaches of all time, Bill Belichick. I think the Patriots are making the playoffs this year.
I think that's really reasonable. I don't know. I've been hearing that since they signed Cam, they're gonna draft they're probably going to draft a quarterback, which probably makes sense because you can give Cam another shot, reload him with weapons. And if it doesn't work out, then it's pretty apparent that he can't be your quarterback because the splashes that they're making in free agency, it's like, it's like either Cam's going to do something or it's just going to be they're just going to run it back the same as last year. So this will be a big testament to if Cam Newton is Cam Newton still and can come out and play football with pieces around him to help him succeed. And then if not, they'll probably draft a quarterback and it'll be his to take over. So we'll see. It's interesting. I like it. I still got a little bit of love for the Patriots after Brady left. I mean, I was a fan for him forever. So we'll see. I'm interested.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting because I think it points out the fact that Patriots really just have not done a good job drafting in recent years when you have to put all that money into it. And it's not that the players they got aren't good or they aren't necessarily worth the money they got, but that's a lot of money to put into trying to fix. After one bad season, trying to fix money. Usually, conventional wisdom is that you don't fix a team all just by trying to spend money for agents. That's not the way to do it. So it's going to be interesting to see how much improved they are. I think I agree with each other. I think overall it's going to come down to how well Cam Newton plays because I don't think they're going to be a better team than Buffalo. I think that they maybe could be better than Miami potentially if Cam is able to take that, to play better because obviously, we still don't know quite how well Tua is going to play this year as the first as now as a full-time starting quarterback. So, they have to answer those questions. But yeah, I think, they could be good, although, I don't think they're not anywhere near a Super Bowl contender. But I do think that it should be the point where they could be back in the playoff conversation at the very least.
I really like that they that they got two tight ends in Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. Because when I think of the Patriots, I really think of a team that plays with their tight ends. They've been that team that always has two tight end sets in almost every offensive set they have. They had Gronk and Hernandez, Gronk and Martellus Bennett, Gronk and Tim Wright. They had quite a couple of tight ends coming in there to play that second tight end position. And, now they're back and they have two really talented tight ends to play there as well. This might be the most talent they have at tight end since the Gronk Hernandez pairing.
Mm-hmm.
And, they brought Kyle Van Noy back after he got cut from the Dolphins. That's, bringing back another piece for their defense. Somehow they're the guys that leave in free agency always tend to find a way back to New England, it seems like. But I think I definitely think the Patriots are in a position to compete for a playoff spot this year.
For sure.
If Cam Newton can just be passable as a quarterback, then they have a team here. But maybe we'll see. I mean, they might have to rebuild. I don't think Bill Belichick wants to rebuild at all. I mean, he's probably going to retire at some point soon, so he's probably trying to hold on. But yeah, so that was the Patriots. We also have a couple of other interesting teams. I don't know if you guys wanted to bring any up that you've seen or been intrigued by.
Can we just talk about how the Chicago Bears just found their franchise quarterback in Andy Dalton? Or
you mean the Red Rifle?
Oh yeah, like how could
don't
we
even
not,
get me started?
How can
don't
we not talk
started.
about that though? Like that's such a big splash in my opinion. They get rid of Trubisky and they replace him with someone way above his caliber in Andy Dalton. And
to be fair, they did upgrade their quarterback position. Andy Dalton is better than Trubisky.
Yeah.
That's true.
By the slightest bit.
But after weeks of it seeming like we might have a shot at Russell Wilson, seeing the alert that we got Andy Dalton, I started screaming some choice words. Right.
Your guys' hopes for at the peak of what you could be at. You probably saw that and they just instantly dropped.
And I was seeing reports that we were, in the running and Russell liked the Chicago market and he liked an offensive minded head coach like Nagy. And then to see that they didn't want to trade him at this time and that we signed Dalton, I don't even know if I'm going to be watching Bears games this year.
I mean, okay, hold on. At least it's not as bad as the Lions because the Lions are just cutting everybody out of their system right now.
I have a theory that Ryan Pace, the Bears GM, is secretly a Packers fan. I mean, he's tortured us for the past decade. I mean, you look at the long list of quarterbacks we've had since 2005, and the list is just atrocious. The best quarterback we've had is Jay Cutler. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
come on.
at least you used to be able to say at least we're not the Browns, but you really can't say that anymore.
No, like you know,
Nope.
they have to taunt us by getting Khalil Mack and potentially making a Super Bowl run, and then they just throw it all away. It's
like you
so
guys
hard
have a
to
great
watch.
defense, or like
And we're
like,
watching it go to waste. We're watching
yeah.
Allen Robinson waste out his time in Chicago.
Yeah.
He's gonna want to leave. He probably wants to leave right now after getting franchise tagged.
Some upside though. Kenny Galladay was in talks with the Bears, so
Yeah, and before we move on from Bears quarterbacks, Mitch Trubisky officially signed
To
with
Buffalo.
the Bills with the Buffalo Bills today. So
The ultimate backup quarterback battle: Mitchell Trubisky and Jake
Josh-
Fromm.
yeah, Josh Allen, he you better watch out.
They're coming for him.
Trubisky's
That's
coming
for
for
sure.
him. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, that's great.
Did you guys see that the Jaguars gave Jamal Agnew 3-year contract with $7 million each year?
Really?
Yeah, to be a kick returner.
Well, he plays on the offense occasionally too.
Does he
And
really though?
He used to be a corner as well, so I mean,
That's a lot of money.
but that's way
That's-
too much money for him. Like
That's a lot of money
They-
for
they-
a guy that
they
doesn't
gave
touch the
him-
field that much.
it's $7 million a year.
Yeah, he signed a 3-year, $21 million contract.
Isn't that? I mean, they gave him more money than Marvin Jones. Like that makes no sense. You would think that you'd want to pay Marvin Jones more money.
I don't know,
But-
man.
Okay, but if Jacksonville does good in the draft, I think they're kind of getting some pieces together down there in Florida. Because I mean, they picked up Shaquille Griffin, and they just picked up Marvin Jones and Jamal Agnew. Plus, they're probably going to take Trevor Lawrence. They got Urban Meyer as a head coach. They can probably make a couple other splashes. In
They
the
brought
draft.
Carlos Hyde back for a round 2 in Jacksonville.
I mean, plus they got James Robinson, and he's a great running back.
Oh,
Like,
he's
they got
great. Yeah,
They got a
great
lot of
season last
pieces
year.
coming together in Jacksonville. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but they could win like 5 games or 6 games this year, probably.
I certainly don't think they'll be a top 5 draft pick next year if they draft well this year. They'll probably still be top 10. I don't think they'll be near the top 5 though.
Agreed.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the playoffs in the next 3 years. James Robinson was arguably a top 5 running back last season.
It's
He
true.
had a great year.
Plus, if Urban can get Lawrence under, or Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, whoever he drafts at number 1, probably Trevor Lawrence, as we all think, but who knows? Obviously, if you can take whoever that quarterback is under his wing and just let them, I mean, they can prosper together, come up together. Then I mean, they could have something special.
Darren, you got anyone you're interested in?
There's a free agents, like, I mean, been like a lot of big stuff. You know, I actually to go back for lines, I actually like some moves that they've made so far. I think bringing back Romeo Carl was smart. I think trading for Michael Brockers just recently, you know, I think they've actually really done. They have the makings of what should be actually a decent defensive line now, and you know, I just, you know, they've sort of just been like, you know, they're not like just doing a rebuilding. They're not just doing a rebuild and not just signing anybody. They're actually making moves to at least be competent. You know, it seems like in different areas. So I like some of the ways doing that. Other than that, I don't know. There hasn't been a ton of like there hasn't been like a ton of standouts that for certain aspects. The Patriots have been like the biggest one, so that's like they with all their signs. So like they made everyone else in comparison look like, you know, cheap. So
Yeah.
Washington football team is making some moves.
They signed my Lord and Savior Ryan Fitzpatrick to a 1-year, $10 million contract. Washington football team to the Super Bowl next year. I'm predicting it now.
Curtis
Thomas,
Samuel.
is he a Hall of Famer?
Ryan Fitzpatrick is in my Hall of Fame. That's for sure.
That's all that matters.
He's the only member of my Hall of Fame.
you're
I still would probably put him in the Hall of Fame before Joe Flacco. So
We had this joke last time.
I know, and I'm going to say it again. So I don't like Joe Flacco. Okay.
All right. One other team. Okay. Last team that I was really intrigued by was the Cardinals.
Yeah.
AJ Green, They traded for Rodney Hudson, J.J. Watt, Legatron, Matt Prater. I mean, they've got.
What is this? 2016?
Breaks my heart. Don't.
This-
What are you disrespecting Matt Prater right now?
No, just all
Oh,
three
okay.
of those guys. They were
Yeah,
just
you're right.
like
Yeah.
their primes were like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's just weird to see them all on
I
one
saw
team.
I saw that Arizona signed Matt Prater, and I think I shed an actual tear because he was like the one kind of piece left in Detroit, but now he's gone. So
This
like,
is
you can't even count on him to win us games anymore. It's like we're kind of whatever.
the Cardinals are really going up for it this year.
That's true.
Anything short of a Super Bowl is going to be a disappointment. You can't bring in JJ Watt, AJ Green, and I don't know, Rodney Hudson. I mean, you can bring him in and not win a Super Bowl. Like, these moves are win now moves. This is like advancing their rebuild that they were undergoing by years. Like, they're pushing themselves trying to make it into contention.
That's true, but they probably should make the playoffs first. Like they didn't even make the playoffs last year, Like I think they're definitely trying to win now, but I don't think it's like a Super Bowl or bust. I'd say it's like maybe a Super Bowl in the next like 2 to 3 years. Like get to the playoffs first though. Like that's all I'm saying.
I suppose, but these moves are Super Bowl moves.
I mean, yeah, they're big moves. You're right. They are big moves.
If you don't, you're expecting to make it at least to the championship game if you're making these kinds of moves. But yeah, that's NFL free agency. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about that or not.
Nah, not really. I don't think. I mean,
there were other moves. I don't really feel like talking about Matt Milano re-signing with the Bills, to be honest. So
no.
there's, I don't know, Dolphins were interesting, but that's neither here nor there. It's time to move on, boys. Oh, they did sign Will Fuller. They have.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did see that actually.
They're gonna see if Tua's the guy or not this year. That's for sure. If he doesn't perform well, they're probably gonna look to the draft.
Oh, wait. Can we talk about one thing really fast? Can we talk about how the Raiders just gave away all their offensive line?
They brought
They were just
Richie
like-
Incognito back.
Yeah, but didn't they just
But
get
they got rid of everyone
else?
Yeah.
I don't like. What are you trying to do? Like, I don't. Okay, never.
Don't
that's all I wanted to-
question the
that's-
mind of Mike Mayock and John Gruden. Their offensive linemen just weren't Gruden grinders.
Oh, okay.
They kept the one
All right,
offensive
yeah.
lineman who's terrible for the locker room.
Yes, he's a Gruden grinder though.
man. He's a Gruden
That's
grinder.
all that matters. That's all that matters.
Oh,
It's
my
all
God.
that matters. If you're a Gruden grinder, you're on the team. If you're not, goodbye. But yeah, that is NFL free agency so far. We might bring it back up next week if other big things happen. Tyler, you might want to fix your camera.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with the lighting. I don't like that.
Like, yikes, bro.
I think it looks sick.
Yeah, lens flare, great.
Does that
No,
look cool? No, it doesn't
no,
look cool.
fix
You're
it,
lying.
please. We don't need a lens flare annoying our viewers. Apologies for the technical difficulties, everyone. To end off the podcast, I have a little game for everyone.
Deal.
There have been some terrible contracts signed in both the NBA and NFL. I have compiled 5 of the worst, not necessarily the worst, but 5 terrible contracts that players have signed. The oldest one is from 2010, so I think you guys should be able to get them.
Okay.
If not, then I did a good job. So how this is going to work is I am going to give you the year, the length, the amount of money, and the team they signed with first. And if you guys don't get it right off the bat, I will give you hints after that as to who it might be.
I feel like even the team is like
Okay, so I won't tell you the team first.
not right away.
Alright.
Don't tell us the team right away, especially for NBA.
I'll tell you the conference they signed with, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this
Yep.
all right? I'm going to bet on what you said. This is NBA too, right, Thomas?
It's NBA and NFL. I'm going to start with
All
3
right.
NBA teams. Then I'm going to finish with 2 NFL teams.
Guess. All right. Wait. Can I guess? Is Josh Smith on your list?
I did not go with Josh Smith because I knew that you guys would get that way too fast.
I have a couple in my head right now that I think you're gonna say.
All right. Let's hear him, Thomas. Let's hear him.
If I failed you, I apologize.
Okay.
But we're going to go for it. All right. So, first one. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, this Western Conference team signed
Mike Conley.
Carter. No. Okay. This Western Conference team signed this wing to a 4-year, $94 million contract.
Hayward.
No.
Those are my two that I thought were coming.
He only played 3 years with that team before being traded to Atlanta in a contract dump.
Chandler Parsons.
Yes. Chandler Parsons signed with the Grizzlies in 4 years, $94 million. The man only played a 95 out of a possible 246 games with the Grizzlies. He never averaged over 8 points per game, and he never got over 20 minutes per game with the Grizzlies.
That's atrocious.
That is a blast from the
Injuries
past.
Injuries just ruined his career.
Yeah. Signing his contract with the Mavericks in a strip club probably didn't help either. But that's
neither here nor there.
that was something that I learned while I was doing this research for this game. Is that Chandler
I
Parsons
didn't know that either.
signed a contract in a strip club. I don't know what Mark Cuban was doing, but dang.
That's great.
All right. Sticking with 2016, another wing signed a 4-year, $72 million contract with yet another Western Conference team.
What year? Same year?
Same year, 2016.
I think I got this one too.
Gordon
Luol
Hayward.
Deng.
It was Luol Deng.
Wow.
Tibbs struck Luol Deng down in his first couple years, and the man was at the age of like 40 by the time he was 28. He only played in 57 games with the Lakers.
That's okay. That was Lakers.
He didn't do as poorly as Chandler Parsons. He did average 7.5 points per game. But he ended up getting buried on the depth chart after the Lakers decided to go full rebuild or / get LeBron. And they bought him out after only playing 1 game in his second year on the contract. And they are still paying him $5 million to this day annually.
Pay that man.
So that's Luol Deng. All right. This is from 2010. I hope this one gets you guys a little bit more because it's a little bit older. In 2010, this big man was signed to a 5-year, $100 million contract with an Eastern it was a sign and trade. He got signed and traded to the Eastern Conference from the West.
It was in 2010.
2010.
Amari Stoudemire.
Gosh darn it. Darren, you're not invited to this game anymore. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's
Wow.
Amari Stoudemire.
How do you know that, Darren?
Darren's wiser than you, I guess.
I can't get over the fact how Luol Deng came to his mind that fast, and then he hits us with that. Oh my gosh!
New rule.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah, stop
That's-
reading
that's-
signings, Darren. What is that all you do with your
Darren,
free
stop
time?
paying attention to sports. All right.
Jeez.
You act like this is what the podcast is about. All right. But no, yeah. So Amari Stoudemire signed. He was in a sign and trade from the Suns to the Knicks. He wasn't terrible his first year. He had like 25 points per game, but each year after that, his points per game went down, and he only played in over 50 games in a season twice during his time with the Knicks. And by the time he was in his last year there, he was only averaging 12 points per game. Injuries were very hard on him, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my NBA portion. Darren ruined the entire game. I was stumping Tyler and Carter, and then Darren just comes in with his big brain knowledge. Yeah, so I have 2 NFL contracts.
Okay.
We'll start off in 2015. This NFC team signed this player to a 5-year, $40 million contract.
I feel like
For football, the position.
I feel like we should get a position.
Offense, defense.
He was on offense. He ran the ball.
Wait, what team? NFC?
NFC.
What year?
2015.
Reggie Bush.
No.
I don't even
Nice
know if that
try,
made
though.
sense, but
Do you need a hint?
is it Adrian Peterson?
No.
Uh,
Would you guys like another hint?
yes. What team?
I'm not going to tell you the team yet. That's just going to give it away.
Well, I feel like that's okay.
All right.
No,
You're right.
He's-
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
He scored 7 total touchdowns with this team, but only managed to get 702 rushing yards after the previous year leading the league in rushing yards that season. And after 1 year, he was traded away.
He led the league in rushing.
In 2014, he led the league in rushing.
In 2014, he led the league in rushing.
I should know this.
I'm pretty sure this is too late, but that wasn't Peyton Hillis, right?
No.
Oh,
No,
God.
no.
He led the league in rushing.
You guys want the team?
No, not yet.
Okay. Let me know when you want the team.
NFC
NFC.
2015 led the league in rushing in 2014.
Yes. And then he had a
Where
stinker
what,
of a year.
was he in the NFC in 2014 or was he in the AFC in 2014?
He was
was
in
it
the
a
NFC in
re-sign?
2014.
Was
Okay.
it a re-sign with his old team?
No.
Okay.
He
Oh,
stayed in the same division, though.
Okay. Oh, that's helpful.
DeMarco Murray.
Yes. Darren is running away with this.
DeMarco
Yeah,
Murray.
DeMarco Murray
Oh
signed
my
a
gosh.
5-year, $40 million contract with the Eagles. After getting traded away, he had a pretty decent season with the Titans.
Yeah,
but
he did do solid. Yeah.
But then the Titans drafted Derrick Henry, and he kind of went out the wayside.
Yeah.
All right, last one. I'm pretty sure Darren already has the victory for today.
It's fine.
I
I didn't realize Darren knew so much about contracts.
You guys got to do more research next time.
Yeah, I
We'll
will.
see.
I just pay attention. That's all. I try and pay attention.
Or maybe I fed him the answers before this started.
Maybe.
Conspiracy.
Well,
Conspiracy.
we'll never know. Okay, last one. Since Darren is in the lead, he won already, so this one is just for funsies. In 2017, this NFC team signed this quarterback to a 3-year, $45 million contract. He threw for 833 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 4 games for this team.
Mike Glennon.
Yes, Carter.
Let's
I was expecting you
go.
to get it sooner with the whole
Well,
Bears connection.
It was
you
the
know?
first name that came to mind, but I was like, I gotta.
Yeah, Mike Glennon signed with the Bears.
I wasn't sure it was that much, but now that you said that total,
paid
it
him
makes
that
me,
much
uh,
money.
That was a wild contract. I'm not gonna lie.
That was the
You-
same.
Mike Glennon.
He started like 1 year and then was a backup for the rest of it because Jameis came to Tampa, and for some reason the Bears thought, let's pay this man $15 million a year.
Right after trading up to the number 2 pick to get Mitch Trubisky. I don't know if it was before or after, but still the same offseason.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Carter. I'm sorry.
We could have had Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes.
I'm so
That
sorry.
thought goes through my head every day.
And
Oh.
you traded up 1 spot to get him too. That's the best part.
Like
He
he
gave
was
up like
gonna
3
go
other
before
picks
that.
just to get him. He gave up 3 other picks.
Oh man, that's too funny.
All right. Well, that was my game. I hope you guys had fun.
I had a blast.
Oh, I love that.
I'm looking forward to more.
I do have a couple of other ideas for games we can play. I'm
Let's
sure
do that Hall of Fame thing.
I'll do the Hall of Fame thing. I'll plan that. We'll either do that next week or 2 weeks from now. I'll try and get that together. So
All right,
that's
deal.
something that you viewers out there can be prepared for. All like 7 of you. But yeah, so that's the podcast. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to say about,
Yeah, I have
how
one thing
terrible
to
I
say.
did today or anything like that.
I have one thing to say.
Is it about Mike Glennon?
No, it's go green, baby. Let's go.
Go
Go
white.
white.
First four. First
White.
four. Big day.
Right.
Big day. Big day. Sorry, I'm really juiced right now. I just drank a cup of coffee, so I'm feeling it.
They screwed us with a play-in game just for the ratings, but we're gonna come out, kick UCLA's you know what.
Yeah, you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you're thinking for March Madness about free agency. Hit us with some
If
comments.
you want to hear, if you have any ideas for other games we can play,
Any
go
ideas?
ahead and hit us up. We appreciate each and every single person that watches this. We appreciate any feedback that you guys can give. Comment the feedback. But yeah, thank you all for watching. We have been the Spartan Sports Podcast, and we will be back again next week with another exciting experience, I suppose. I don't know. This is the end, though.
An
Goodbye,
experience.
everyone.